You look at the waterfront in Boston, and I remember the first project I worked on in '68 was Lewis Wharf. There was a railroad running down Atlantic Avenue. There wasn't any waterfront park. There wasn't any Marriott Hotel. There wasn't anybody living down there. It was just miles of desolate piers that had been wool warehouses. You look at the Boston Harbor in the 1800s, I mean, we have ships going all over the world. We have the clipper ships, the China trade. East Boston's all shipyards. But again, the world changes. And you know, we're left with the remnants of the real estate we create for one use. And the question is, you can either clear it or you can adapt it. Boston has been very good at adapting it. Things were so cheap. When we bought the first building in about 1975 at Fidelity, it was $8 a square foot that we paid for the building. In the whole assemblage there, I think our average cost for 10 buildings was under $12 a foot. It was less than land value. When you don't need it in real estate, you know, when nobody needs it, it just has no value at all.
We had clearly made the decision that we had to leave Jamaica Plain, that we couldn't expand anymore there. We knew if we were going to achieve our mission and if we were going to become stable as an institution, we just had to have more visitor revenue. And so at that point in time, we had narrowed down to two possible choices: the Castle and the Blackstone block. Both had very significant liabilities. And I knew that Stuart Pratt, who happens to be Sue Jackson's godson, was in the commercial real estate business. And so I called him up and said, "Stuart, there must be more places that we haven't seen." And he said, "Well, would you consider South Boston?" I said, "Absolutely not." And he said, no, not that part of South Boston. He said, "Just across the Fort Point Channel." I said, "Well, it's a wasteland." And he said, "Exactly, there's lots of parking. And it's just across Congress Street Bridge." And I said, "What's across Congress Street Bridge?" And he said, "Come and see." So we got to this old wool warehouse, and that was totally empty. And we trudged up these sort of crumbling stairs to the very top floor and threw open the steel doors. And I looked out, and it was snowing, and there was Boston right in front of me, and the buildings and the lights. And I looked down, and there's the Fort Point Channel and the apron, and the Tea Party ship was already there, and you could see South Station right in front of you. The Federal Reserve Bank had just been built, and I thought, this is it. I said, "How much is it?" He said, "You can probably get it for $8." I said, "8?" He said, $800,000. I said, "Wow." We were right in Boston. There was all the space, and you could do anything you wanted with that space. Just anything. And it wasn't going to be a new building, but it was going to be like us. It felt like, you know, the right thing for the Children's Museum. It felt like our culture would thrive there and continue. And I couldn't believe it when we moved in. I thought, wow, so amazing. We bought it and we're moving in. And we'll be here for the next 50 or 100 years.